Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hello.
Nate, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I didn't realize it felt like I was back because I got back Thursday.
Yes, right, but you weren't here for the last live.
Right. Cool.
I think that was the last one, right? Yeah, it was
Yep.
me and
Didn't
TJ.
even watch. I was doing nothing, so I'm sure you guys did.
Train
awesome
wreck.
job.
Absolute train
I
wreck.
don't
It
believe
was
that
awful.
for a second.
We actually had so many questions. I don't even know if
That's
we were able to
great.
get to all of them. It was crazy. Yeah, it was awesome. It was
I
really
like
fun.
that.
We were going to talk about pedals and effects, and we ended up just answering questions the whole time, so it was really fun.
Well, that works.
Yeah, it was awesome. So welcome here, everyone, to another Q&A. Today we are talking about nothing specific, right? Nothing
My guitar stuff.
guitar stuff. Okay,
We
let's
were
talk
we were talking about pedals just before this.
We were. So if you guys want to talk about more pedal stuff,
Yeah.
it's always fun. We were talking about pedal stuff.
Selling, acquiring.
Yeah, it's an interesting little thing, and there's a couple other guys in the office who are into this too, but it's like selling and acquiring, and you can actually make money and get better and better stuff.
You can.
That's how I went through my process of buying my nice amp, was going through like slowly buying something for less and then selling it for a little more, and then eventually saved up enough money to be able to get the amp that I wanted.
Awesome.
So, Craigslist.
We'll talk about that more, I guess, after the initial jam.
Yes.
Which I have no idea what's going on.
No,
well, maybe a little bit.
Well, we'll figure it out as we go. But before we do that, make sure you guys get your questions in. There's a box below the video player if you're a member. You can just type those in, send those off. You can also put them in chat. Make sure you do send in questions, because if you don't send in questions, then we'll just cut it short. And it'll be a short lesson. So
I will go work on Christmas tunes because that's all I'm doing, like last week and this week.
It is weird, like it's early November, but everybody's in Christmas mode already.
Yeah, we had three or four Christmas tunes in the members area last year, and then we're gonna have 3 or 4 more this year. So we're getting a pretty good backlog.
Yep. We'll just keep trucking away at them. Christmas tunes are fun. If you guys have any Christmas tune recommendations, always send those in. And as far as questions go, you don't have to ask a question. You can also give us a progress update.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to just tell us how you're doing, that's great. We'd love to hear from you.
I'd love to hear progress updates, like what you've been working on, what you're struggling with, or what you're like, hey, I just slayed this. It's good.
It'd be awesome. Okay, let me make sure I'm in tune, and then we'll...
This month is turning into pentatonic month for me.
Pentatonic month.
You know that concept I went over a couple weeks ago about the 5 shapes, the small
Yes.
shapes? I'm starting to do the diagonal ones, the ones that crisscross. Because it's the same patterns, but they're in a different order.
Can you
each
explain
way.
those a little bit, very briefly? Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's really, it's irritating because I've been working on pentatonics my whole life, and then I get to this thing, I'm like, so it's like slows me way down, which is good, right? But the rest of the month of November, that's like one of my practice points, I think.
Ah, that's cool. Well, should we just play?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
So dramatic.
That's funny because like I accidentally did like some was it like pentatonic substitution? I thought this chord progression we were playing was D minor, G, F, and it was D minor, C, F. And it worked the entire time. Like halfway through it, I realized that the progression you're playing was different.
I played D minor, C, G.
Right. Oh.
But then I would just go.
And then just. Right. Cool.
Yeah.
So I had no idea you were playing a C in there the whole time.
That is so
for the
funny.
For the first half.
That's so fun, and it's not like that's like the root note at all or
No.
anything that's like safe. That's funny.
But like I was
right.
thinking like arpeggio and pentatonic, so it worked out.
It totally like it didn't sound weird to me at all what you were playing. Oh, that's very cool. Very nice. So make sure you guys get your questions in. We'll probably, while we wait for questions, just kind of come up with something that we want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have anything that you've been working on, you said pentatonic month. You're talking about the diagonal pentatonic stuff.
Diagonal pentatonic.
Do you want to maybe give like a brief rundown on what that
I'm very
concept
bad
is?
at this right now. I spent like this morning like 15, 20 minutes just kind of going, staring at the fretboard. So I'm in the key of A major. Sorry, yeah, it's A major.
Okay.
A major pentatonic, right? So the next shape up and over. So the next string over. Sorry. Okay. The next shape of our 5 little shapes we have is this one. So no matter what key you're in, what position you're on the fretboard, if you have this shape, like the trapezoid with the smaller shape on this side, the next one is the rectangle.
Okay.
And then the next shape is the reverse trapezoid.
Okay.
And then the next 2 shapes, we only got 2 left, and they're the same, they're the little square ones. And normally when I think about that, I think about, okay, what's the shape I'm in here for A? It's this one. Right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to visualize it and then come up with a shape. And if I wanted to move, I'd have to be like, okay, what shape am I? I'm on this one now. For these 2 strings, I need this. And I'd do the same thing for the next one, be like, what's the main shape behind that one? So which one's I need for this? But with this one, once I get them down, it'll be easier. Like, no matter where I am, say I'm in G major. Like they all rotate together, no matter where you are on the fretboard.
Well, I was gonna say it's interesting how you can do it that way,
Like
that way.
Yeah, this way. That was this way.
Yeah.
There's one for this way too. It's the same 5 shapes that the order is.
Right,
just
right,
different.
right.
And then there's
That makes
one.
sense.
They're up. There's an up one, like
Yeah.
just straight up, like this. And there's one across too, which most people already know.
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now. I almost started to do the one that goes this way. This one I was like, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm just going to get this down, and then I'll do the one that goes the other way. But it's cool because like if you want a pentatonic sound,
Yeah.
like straight major or minor pentatonic, that helps you get out of the box and move to other areas of the fretboard. And if you another thing that's really cool in this book I'm going through is if you want a different sound, I haven't gotten much into this, I never really have gotten much into it, is pentatonic substitution. So play the pentatonic and major pentatonic that's a 5th above what you're playing with. So if you're playing a G major pentatonic, playing over a G major chord, play the 5th above a D major pentatonic over it.
What would that sound like?
There's no root, right?
Right.
So
So is it technically like is it like a mixolydian kind of thing?
I assume it would be, because let's see. No, because there's no flatted 7th in there.
Okay.
There's no lowered 7th. It's just, it's
you're perfectly diatonic.
dominant in the fact that there's a 5 arpeggio over the 5 chord in there, right?
Yeah.
But if you want a pentatonic feel to your playing, if you want a different sound, that's perfect. And you can do the same thing with a 4. Play a G major chord again. And if you want to resolve it down to to the chord you're on.
Now this isn't as easy as like, oh, we're in the key of G major, I can just play this now, right? You'd have to be over that G chord.
You have to, yeah, it's specific to the chord. So
Yeah.
if you see, play an A minor chord. So I played a D minor pentatonic over that and resolved it down.
Okay.
So it gives it a completely different sound, but you still have that pentatonic feel that goes along with it.
So you played a D minor.
It's something, it's a fifth above.
Interesting.
You have to be careful how you use it though, because
Yeah.
like if you use it in the context of I'm playing a D blues scale, it sounds weird.
Very interesting.
But yeah, that's part of like I'm trying to put either a loop pedal on or a band in a box with either a major or minor chord, and I'm going through like 3 or 4 different pentatonic substitutions for just to get familiar with that sound as an alternative to
Yeah, the thing we're kind of all
to
used
something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's a relatively easy way to do it. Like if you just take a fifth way, or there's other ones I can't remember them right now because I'm just not getting into it. But
That's very cool. Well, let's jump into the first question. Cool. This one is from Eddie115. Welcome back. I'm glad you're back. He's been very active, which has been awesome.
Awesome.
I think he's a newer guy. It's
Cool.
Great to have you here. So I'm still working through the Quick Start Electric and Music Theory 2 series. I have a good understanding of the scale formula and understand how we get the B, D, and B flat major scales. They are in my practice routine to go through and memorize. Can you recommend a scale for me to practice that goes through all 6 strings rather than horizontally along a single string? I think it would be good for me to get my fingers going on something useful instead of spider walking the first 4 frets.
oh, yeah, so he's talking about this way instead of this way.
So he's just talking about any scale that instead of, because he's probably doing like a,
Oh, okay, cool.
so then like,
Right.
but like the idea would just be any scale that spans
said D,
6
right?
strings. He's got G major, D, and then B flat.
Okay, just let's do D because
Okay.
it's a nice central location on the fretboard. So learn, I would say, just like how you think about pentatonics, Andrew. I totally missed like 6 strings there. Right? I would start with that minor pentatonic scale, quote unquote minor pentatonic scale shape. I'm using it like a major pentatonic scale there. And just make sure you emphasize the D note there
Instead of the
pinky,
B.
instead of the B, because it turns into a minor pentatonic at that point. So your home base is going to be right here. D notes on the 10th fret of the high E and the 12th fret of the D string. And if you want to make it minor, just move it up to where your index finger is on that root note instead and play the same shape.
Now that very first shape is the easiest shape because it's so, I think it never shifts really around. It's like very straightforward and easy to memorize, which I think is why so many people just use it as their main shape. So what you were saying is you're basically teaching him how to do like a B minor pentatonic, but because he knows the key of D, he's technically knows all these notes and understands them, right? Because you.
And all you're doing is sucking 2 notes, or taking 2 notes out of a major scale here. But the problem with a major scale like that is there's so many notes, and if you're playing over chord changes, it's hard to, if you don't have any more knowledge than that, it's hard to make it sound good.
But if we just take that pentatonic scale, so I'm going to just play a chord progression and just use that pentatonic scale to like play something cool. Because it's pretty easy to do, right? That's the cool thing about the minor pentatonic scale. So we're in the key of. Now, I'm going to just change the chord progression in that key, and Nate will just use the same scale. And if I change it again?
And I have no idea what Andrew's playing, so I'm just kind of noodling over
You're just
it.
letting
It
your
still
ear
sounds
kind of
okay.
just do your thing?
Yeah.
It sounds great. And all you did, just make sure you didn't cheat. You just used the notes in that pentatonic?
Yeah, like I slid up if I wanted to hear a
Okay,
lot
still
higher
pentatonic
note,
technically.
Yeah.
But for the most, it's just that one scale, which is why it's so good to start with that scale.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get you making music really quickly, and like you're doing a good job. It sounds like memorizing the notes and understanding how the scales are made. So do that as well. Go through and just realize that you're taking 1, 2, 3, fourth, and the seventh. Was it the seventh? Yeah, fourth and seventh notes out of that major scale to get the pentatonic.
The cool thing about the pentatonic scale, and it's the same for any scale, but the cool thing about that particular shape, it's very easy to recognize how to make it like a D major scale and a B minor scale, because you're basically just like adding and subtracting one note either way, and you can really just play them all and be fine. It's just about where you're starting and stopping. So it's a very easy way to grasp the concept of scales, except if you're understanding them as like knowing D in the notes, it's just important to remember that we are taking out those two.
Okay, play, let's see, how are we gonna do this? Okay, I'm gonna play a D major to a B minor, and then I want you to, I mean, I know it's just shift positions, like you play a D major. I guess not, yeah, that's all I'm gonna play, and then we'll do something else after as well.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Just play a D major pentatonic.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm gonna change from a D to a B minor.
Okay.
Get more musical. Okay, now I'm gonna play from a D major to a D minor.
Okay.
Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Again.
But I could stay here when you go to the major. So I actually moved positions there when you changed. Because if I stayed on that D.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, exactly what I was good.
When he changed that D minor.
Yeah. It's kind of nasty.
Doesn't really work.
But that's just one scale shape. It's the standard minor pentatonic, right? With your D on your pinky, for a major chord, which is based off of this G major shape. And then when you change to D minor, you move your root to your index finger.
Exactly.
So go to minor pentatonic scales 1 as a series for something to go through. And that's probably, I can't remember if that's in, and that might not be in electric, that might be in the lead guitar 101, not, what you call it? Rhythm guitar, electric guitar 101.
Okay, yeah.
So go to that series, you'll see it in the side, just filter by scales, go to minor pentatonic scales 1, and just add that into your routine.
Yeah, the cool thing about it that I find is with a beginner scale like that, you can see, you see so many pros that use it all the time, but you can actually just build on that over time, which is kind of what I did. I think it was more because I didn't have direction, so I kind of stayed there for so long. But all I learned how to do was, and I learned that first shape. Okay, well now, if I want to flesh that out and turn it into like more of a major or minor scale, I just add back the fourth and the seventh. So then I get. So now I have all those, I just plug those notes in, but I'm still using the same shape, so I at least kind of know that I'm safe there. And then when you learn the other connecting shapes to those, like the one on this side, the one on this side, you can do the same thing. You can start with the pentatonic, and then you can fill in those gaps to get those other notes, and then you can get that one more outside on all that, and then all of a sudden you know the entire fretboard, you know every note that's diatonic in the key that you're playing. Go ahead.
No, like on that kind of same vein, that book I'm going through, the same pentatonic one, has a section or chapter called Modes for Morons.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like, I just think about pentatonics and I add one note. So he plays like a D minor, pentatonic, right?
Nice.
It just went Dorian, right? Then just went back to pentatonic, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to go Aeolian, it's this note instead of this one.
Totally.
Man, this is like, it's genius,
Very
man.
easy to figure
and
out.
like, yeah, of course you're gonna eventually want to get that sound in your head to where you can do it anywhere, but like
Yeah.
on the top 3 strings on the guitar, that's kind of where your lead world is most of the time, right?
Well, it's funny you say that because remember when we did, you have a jam track series that goes through the Dorian stuff with, it's the Carlos Santana one.
Okay, yeah.
And we did a jam track, we were gonna play along to the jam track in a live lesson, and I was like, oh shoot, I don't know
Yeah, you did.
modes very well, because it's not really something I've ever delved into. And I was just like, oh, I just add that one note. And so now that you say that, I'm a certified moron, which is great. That's perfect, because I
I'm not only a
literally did
moron,
exactly that to
I'm
play in
certified.
deep Dorian.
But it works, man. And like you put that anywhere, like if you have a, I don't know.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But
It's neat.
it's something, I've had this book for years, but I'm just now really digging into it. It's called Advanced Rock, Modern Rock Guitar Improvisation, I believe, by
Nice.
John Finn.
Nice. I'm gonna catch up on some of these. There's no more questions in there right now, but I'm gonna catch up on the chat a little bit here because looks like there's some confusion maybe. Daryl is saying, I'm not understanding what you're doing. Is this caged or 3 notes per string?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see, for the pentatonic stuff, it's neither. As far as, doing a D major pentatonic, or this one, like if you start on a D here, or here, it's just 2 notes per string, I guess, like traditional pentatonics. As far as the modes for morons thing, I would consider that like a variation of 3 note.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid of 3 note per string and caged, because I'm thinking about this chord shape, but I'm also putting in or. So I'm thinking about this minor pentatonic shape, which I can't help but think about the shape with, as far as caged. But
Right.
I'm putting on some notes, on some strings, I'm putting 3 notes per string.
Right.
And then 3 notes per string again.
It's
Like
interesting.
I don't. They're not mutually exclusive to me.
No.
Like I'm thinking about. I try to think about all 3.
I think, yeah. I think sometimes people get into they get into their camps where it's like you
Yeah.
can only learn one or the other, and that they're not even the only 2, right? It's
Yeah.
not like there's just caged and 3 note per string, because we were talking about that. There's like kind of that string pairs is kind of a version of 3 note per string, but
Yeah.
it also allows you to navigate. And for me, I did it all with pentatonic, and for navigating, I'm fine. It's not like it's a big deal. And I don't really ever use cage, even though I understand it. And 3 note per string I don't really use, but I kind of use it when I'm doing more string pair kind of stuff when I'm navigating. So don't worry too much about that. Is there anything else you want to talk about while we're waiting for questions, if there are any?
We were talking about pedals earlier, and I'm playing through my old Line 6 pod today. Just goes to show you that you need less than $100 worth of gear to make music.
Yes.
Not counting my guitar, but like you can get those used for 40 or 50 bucks online. But the reason I have it today is because I saw a Line 6 Flexstone 2, just like a little practice amp. The old school ones that I wanted when I was a kid, but I never got, on Craigslist for 120 bucks. So I took my Boss compressor, which I've hardly ever used, and put it on Craigslist for 80 bucks. And if I could sell that, I made a deal with myself. I'm gonna go buy that amp if it's still available.
Nice.
And I got us talking like, I have pedals that I went through that are normally back here in the set that I forgot I had. And I was like, if I forgot I had it, then I should probably sell it and get something that I will be using.
Of course, yeah.
But like, it's a really cool pedal. And if I ever play country, I'm gonna be like, well, I gotta go rebuy that. But yeah, there's other pedals that I want, plus this little practice amp, plus another guitar. It's never ending.
It's crazy, like when you start to get into that world, how quickly stuff just swaps around and switches. And man, I've been through, I couldn't even count the number of pedals that I've just like I've had, been like, not a fan, sold on Craigslist,
Yep.
stuff like that. And it honestly is a great way to work your way up if you start off with like something you buy and then waiting, selling it, then buying something else when you see that it's like a low price and working your way up. Like I said, it's literally how I bought my favorite amp. I started off, I had a few pedals that I got for really cheap. I don't even remember the specific pedals, but I got them for really cheap, sold them, got more pedals, sold them for more than I paid, and then I was able to afford a guitar, which was, it was a Gretsch, a lot like yours. It was almost exactly, but it's black. And then I made like $150 on it when I sold it. And then I bought another Gretsch actually for like $150. And I think I made,
That's cheap.
I made 200 on it. It was like just somebody had got it and it was beat up. And it's just like, and then all of a sudden it's like it kind of, the money that you're using gets bigger. It's kind of like the paperclip game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you go door to door, I need something bigger or more expensive than this paperclip. And you just slowly work your way up and you be really patient. And eventually I had enough money where it's like, oh, I sell this one last thing and I'm able to get this one awesome thing. And over time it worked out. So if those of you guys who are trying to get gear and stuff, it actually does work. And I know Randy's into that too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he's actually building his own guitar right now. He brought it in to the office the other day. Did you see it? It's very cool.
I don't know if I have to pay. Like one of my guitars needs a fret dressing right now, and I'm like, I could pay $200 to buy the tools to get, to fret dress this guitar and all my guitars in the future. But I would have to learn how to do it and actually take the time to do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that.
There's a lot to it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'd definitely 100% screw the first one up.
Oh yeah, I would too. It's not something, I try and limit myself to the things that I'm good at, try not to add too many new things,
Yeah. But like my tailor had a fret dressing a year and a half ago, and it almost needs one again now.
Really? You worked?
Just addressing the first 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
But
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had to go, I've had one guitar that I've had to have the frets dressed. That's it. Otherwise, I've just lived with what I had. Or the guitars were sold before they needed them or something.
That's usually what happens to me. But I've been hanging on to most of my guitars for like the past, I don't know, 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, you've had the same guitars for almost as long as I've known you now. Yeah. I miss the Gibson Nighthawk though.
That wasn't my fault. The neck warped on it.
I know.
It twisted on it. Otherwise, I would still have that guitar.
It was a cool guitar.
I have a hard time avoiding Craigslist and Reverb looking for those, but that's just not in the cards right now. I want a semi-hollow body.
Oh, right, yeah. A PRS one, right?
Right now, yeah. It's been the same way for like 2 years. I wanted it, so
Yeah,
it's pretty firm.
yeah, that's good. Let's see, still no question. I mean, we can play out, wrap it up. If nobody else has any more questions, if you want.
The only other thing I have to talk about is what we're talking about. I really want that Bonsai Tube Screamer pedal. It has every Tube Screamer ever, I don't know about ever made.
Every important
Every
circuit.
good one, yeah, every important circuit, it has in one flipping pedal. So it's like $2,000 of pedals
Yes.
in one pedal, and you have all your options there. Just like studio grail for that kind of tone. If that's what
Especially if you're into that Tube Screamer type of thing. And it's like $2,000 worth of pedals in a pedal that's, a tenth probably of the price, right? So, that brings back memories.
I'm learning this. I learned this right before I got in here, or at least I figured it out right before I got in here. So I'll give you a preview. I'm gonna make a full video on this, but I'll give you a preview because there's a lot of people on the forum that want to learn how to play this. And I actually pulled up Bobby, what's his name? I saw his guitar player play, and these are the locations that he did it. So what is it?
So you're using...
Yeah.
You're using just, what are those? Just little
Just D major.
little triads? Cool. Oh, little two notes. Yeah. Double stops.
And it sounds like he's doing, but like it's so smooth. There's no way he's going up. So it's just. And then it could be this. Oh, sorry. But
That's easy.
I saw him do it like that live. I was like, oh, okay, he's actually doing it. Yeah. So. So is it pentatonic?
Nice.
Mostly.
It's a good example of double stops.
Yeah. Because using this, G major pentatonic, and this one.
Nice.
But I've got some little details left to work on. I figured out the chord progression, and I figured out that part, then I have to get it since in D. That's all I remember so far. I have to write it down. I have to notate it out. But I did notate out White Christmas yesterday and Green Sleeves. What's the name of the actual Christmas tune for Green Sleeves? I can't remember. But I had a lot of requests for that one, so I notated that one out this morning, actually.
Green Sleeves. What is that song?
What child is this?
Oh, nice. Nice.
So those three for sure are coming. And then the Drumeo, which is a surprise, is a lot more like out there.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I might do one more. So there's going to be probably 4 Christmas tunes coming in.
Make sure you guys check out, we'll make sure we share the video, but we'll probably have to play drums again this year, hey? I don't know if you guys saw last year, but Nate and I got put on a drum set and had to play along to a Christmas song that you came up with.
It's a little funky this year, so we're probably going to be more challenged than usual.
I am not a drummer. It's funny because there's other people in the office who just, I mean,
They are actual drummers. Yeah.
They're actual really, really good drummers, and then some people who just never play drums really ever.
Ever. Right.
And we have to play through the whole song, and they make us do it. I'm nervous already.
Well, it should be.
Watch us make a fool of ourselves.
You did pretty good last year, though. I thought.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't like mess anything up. I just played simple, and then it worked out. Randy says not excited to play drums again this year. Okay, well then if there's no other questions in there, we might as well wrap it up here. Do you have any
We got a lot of new videos coming out. Like free ones.
It's kind of like outro music while you're talking.
It's very hard to do this and play at the same time.
Yes.
And talk at the same time. Keep it out for the Christmas music coming.
Yep.